Okay, this is the tray that I actually, oh my God, look how big this guy is. He is huge. This is the tray that was the original tray that I tried to harvest earlier in the week. Still got lots and lots of worms in it, but I think that's good. They'll finish working over what's in this tray. There's still little bitty pieces of paper that just are taking forever to break down, but it's still pretty light and fluffy. I think the moisture level is fine. I mean, they're gonna finish off this layer for sure. So I think it's probably time to start a third tray. Just can't get over how many worms are in this compost. Again, there's not great light to see if there's cocoons, but there have to be. I mean, there just have to be with how many worms are continually hatching. Is that a cocoon? Yeah, look at that. So this material feels really good. And now that I've done one kind of harvest, I have a better idea of what it needs to feel like. It's probably still a little too wet, but there's so many worms in it. I definitely don't want to dry it out. So I kind of started thinking after the semi-harvest earlier in the week that I might go ahead and start a new tray above this one, hoping that these guys move up and leave this, which we've seen is not exactly how things work. Actually, maybe I'll start a new tray under this one and see if they'll go down. Not that they've really been doing that with the feeding tray below, but slowly but surely. I just can't get over how many worms are in here. So I'm definitely not going to add anything else to this tray. I'm going to let this tray just kind of keep. What do you think, Kaylee? A couple of times now I had added handfuls from the feeding tray to this one to try to get it to process. I just don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I think I'm going to let this just keep finishing with who's in here, and then hopefully I can convince these worms to migrate to a different tray. I saw a great video where the lady just leaves the top off of hers, and leaving the top off of it just kind of makes everybody head down. But we have 4 cats in this house, and really the only way I could probably pull that off is to move the whole worm factory to the master bathroom where I could shut the door. But I'm also worried about that just inviting a lot of bugs into the compost. So I don't know, I'm just really torn on the best way to. I thought I saw a cocoon. The best way to get these guys out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and check on the feeding tray. I have some stuff I'd like to add. If it looks a little too busy there, then I may go ahead and start a new tray, because the bottom tray is actually really pretty full. So this is the bottom tray. There's actually quite a bit of castings across the top. I've been peeking at it all week. As you can see, it's like pretty full in here. There's not a whole lot of room to add food. It's definitely drier down here. Oh my God, there's just worms everywhere. That's so exciting. As much as I'm not a fan of the 360, I would say there's been a population explosion in here. This must be part of where I fed, because I can see the cardboard. So it's super compacted down here in these corners. And if it's compacted, you know, it's a lot harder for them to get through it. So I saw on a really cool worm, I can't remember the guy, his name is Grant, but he puts PVC pipe down in the corners of the Worm Factory 360 so that the layers can only compress so far. And I'm kind of thinking that that might be something I make a trip to Lowe's and go look for. I keep meaning to note this black soldier fly larva. For about 2 weeks after I brought this inside for the winter, I would see a bunch in the compost. I would try to get some out. Then I would notice at night they'd be walking across the floor, and they were a darker color at that point. So I'm sure that means they're probably closer to maturity. So if I didn't see him, a cat usually saw one. So I just kept picking him up and throwing him outside. And now that the bin is not outside, I am not seeing them all the time like I was. There's some piece of something down here, because I just heard it. Make a really ugly sound. That is a sweet potato. But they seem to like it. There's a whole bunch of worms over here. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's just covered in worms down here. There has absolutely been a worm population explosion. Because holy cow. And this is a sweet potato that they're pretty happy about, it looks like. This thing was huge, and I didn't break it down. I just let it sit in the composting can for a while, so it's taking its sweet time. Definitely stinks down here. That original slurry I put in here from the indoor composting can was just nasty. At this point, it's just gotten fun each week to look at the sump and see how many worms are down here, how many castings. So I think I'm going to move all these guys up to what is going to become the newest tray and refill it with cardboard, because it is filling up. If you can see like how many, all this black is castings. So just kind of funny how much they love the sump. And I'm sure all that like stuff from the top drips down here, the sweet potato and all of that. So I'm gonna pull out the tray and get these guys added. This is going to be the new tray that I'm going to move everything from the sump to. I had started a new tray with my standard coconut core and shredded cardboard, and then I decided, oh wait, these are hardwood pine pellets. It's sold at Tractor Supply as horse bedding. It's $5.99. Sometimes there are specials for a 40-pound bag. And now that I have watched some videos, especially the world composting ones, I may start using this instead of coconut core. But I'm going to try it because it doesn't compress. When I watched all the world composting videos, what was so impressive about it is that it didn't seem to compact. Now he was using regular bins, so this is kind of an experiment to see. This time I'll mix it, and then when I start the last tray, I won't do that. I will just use this if it seems successful. So I literally just took a scoop, I didn't measure it, and I just kept adding water until it seemed like most of the pellets had been broken down. And I do know like this will get so dry and fluffy. I know from, again, using it for cat litter for a number of years. We actually just take the cat litter and throw it outside on the lawn and start a new bin. So it's just sawdust. So our lawn grows pretty significantly in the backyard as compared to the front. So I'm just going to add this, mix it in, and then move everybody from the sump up. Okay, here I've added it. I'm just going to kind of spread it out and mix it in. One of the things I really like about this cat litter is that it smells good. I mean, I like the smell of the coconut core too, but I think this, has definitely like tree, sawdust, wood chop smell to it. So anyway, kind of excited that there might be something else to use. Again, I'm fine with coconut core, other than it's really messy. This is not nearly as messy. I've put the bottom tray back on the bottom. This is my new tray. It has a ball, which I probably should have let unfreeze because now it's going to be weighted oddly. A ball of the sweet kale salad mix, which I've noticed salad leaves go really fast. I wonder if that's because it occurred to me today, they're leaves. Worms love leaves. And then a bunch of blackberries that I had left over that went bad, so I heard them froze them, and the bin keeps popping open in the freezer, so it's just time to get rid of these blackberries. And I think that's it. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna cover this up because I know the salad mix will stink. Oh my god. And then I'm gonna put what has been kind of my finished tray top of all of this and shredded cardboard in the very top and see what we get. Oh, and there's a little piece of corn cob I'm very excited to finally have corn cob to finally put in here. Look at those colors, green and purple and yellow. Okay, I've mounted this up, which if you've done anything in the Warm Factory 360, you'll know is ridiculous. That's probably why I need to get those PVC pipes to put in the corners, but I'm gonna try it. I think as the afternoon goes by, it'll melt and it'll even out.